What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back to my channel. Today we are doing a look all focused on this modern take on a kind of winged liner and a red lip. So I'm going to take something classic but try to modernize it. So how can I kind of elevate it or make it a little bit different, make it feel a little bit more current? It's gonna be super fun. I have another video that you guys, if you wanna watch previously, that will show you how I am currently doing my brows and skin for this look. So I'm just super excited to get started and have you guys walk through with me on this. So enjoy, get comfy, and take some notes. Hopefully you will learn a little something from this one. Let's get into it. Let's get started on the eyes. So we've got skin done, brows done, and I love to do the brows first when I am doing an eye look because I feel like it starts to kind of give me an idea of the structure and shape of the look I want to go for the eyes. Sometimes if I do the eyes first and I don't have a brow already there, it tends to, I don't even know really, because I do it both ways, but for whatever reason, sometimes it's nice to have like a structure there with a shape that's already created so that I know where I'm gonna go from there, if that makes sense. I'm gonna start by using Urban Decay eye primer. I am somebody who has extremely hooded eyes, and so if anybody out there is like me, the struggle with making sure your eyeshadow doesn't crease and get wild on you is real. And so I find on myself, I honestly don't know if there's anybody, depending on the look, obviously, that I would ever go without primer. I do it on myself sometimes if I'm just doing a liquid lipstick for a liner and I'm not going in with any shadows or any color, but that would probably be the only time I ever really do that. This is a great base to start with. I really love it. And just kind of focusing it on the lid and on my crease. So those are the parts of the skin that have the most contact and friction, right? Because when I'm opening and closing my eyes, that's the area that's going to be moving. So I don't tend to put a ton of product up towards the brow bone because I don't need it. Nothing's rubbing and moving on that part, if that makes sense. We are going to go in with my, I've mentioned this in another video, but my Lunatic Cosmetics Lab. This is their contour palette, but I love the shades that they have in here. And I'm a big fan of using products for other things than they are intended for. And since we already used some of these shades on the face, it's going to kind of marry everything together nicely. So for today, we're gonna go super natural, but I wanted to kind of break down why I blend and do an eye this way. So it's gonna be kind of like a basic 101 on eyeshadow and your eye shape. First of all, with a hooded eye, and I'm gonna do more of like a winged look with lashes today, but we wanna make sure that the inner part of my eye stays light and bright. Anything dark is gonna pull the eye down. So we wanna keep that light and bright, but we are gonna do a little bit of a deeper shadow in the crease and slightly above because I have a hooded eye. We want that area to recede back so that the center of the eye can come forward. And then we're going to blend out to elongate my eye to marry in nicely with the liquid liner that we're going to do as well. So I'm going to start with my Smith Cosmetics 253 brush, and we're going to lightly start to pack. I like to pack and press first to see where I want that shape, and then go back in with a blending brush. So I'm taking this nice kind of warm brown shade that we actually used on my contour as well. We're just going to pack that into the outer corner of the lid here first. Just extending that out slightly, but really just getting that shadow placed where we want it. I am trying to be all profesh over here and use a mirror that's too far away from me. So I'm gonna use a little contact so I can make sure I've got this where I want it. Really wanna get most of that pigment laid down before I start to blend. And as I'm doing it, I'm trying to keep my eye lifted, right? So I'm not gonna try to drop down too far. And then I'm just kind of sweeping it outwards. Now, none of this has to be perfect because I am the queen of messing up or just being messy. I don't like to say messing up, but being messy and then having to go back in and clean up. But that's totally fine. I'm going with the 256 brush by Smith Cosmetics. Same shape, just a bigger, fluffier brush. And now I'm gonna just kind of blend out, or almost just diffuse what we just had there. So we're lifting the eye here, right? Lifting outwards. And I'm even gonna go ahead and take it past the brow here, guys. Yeah, I love that. Already, cool. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna take an eyeshadow blending brush, okay? Again, Smith Cosmetics, if you guys can't tell, freaking love their brushes. 230 brush. I'm gonna take a slightly lighter shade, still deep, but lighter. And we're gonna focus this in the crease. So when I look into my eye, I can see where my crease is. I wanna go slightly above, so more into my eye socket than my crease, because my crease is lower. Like I said, we don't need to put too much of a deeper color on the lid or to the inner corner because it will pull the eye down. So into the eye socket and then blending it out into what we've already got going on. Littlest bit. So we're just kind of creating some depth and dimension to my eye, which otherwise can sometimes feel a bit flat. And then going in a little bit with that deeper shade to blend out. And let's go ahead and take a little bit on the under eye and just pull everything out and up. Out and up, out and up, out and up. That's how we are going to do everything today. Already, look at that. So I'm now gonna go in with that same 253 brush we started with when we were packing in that product. We're going with this more purpley, brown purple. So I love the cooler shades in this palette because I actually am somebody who likes to go cooler with some stuff. We're sticking a bit warmer today and just taking that deeper purple in a smaller area than we did that initial shade. So we can create a little bit more depth, even more. A little bit of that deeper shade. And if you notice, I'm not going anywhere close to as far in as I went with that other shade. Because now we're creating more dimension, like deepening part of this. So we're creating depth to my eye. I hope you guys can see this on camera and it's translating as well as it looks for me. We are going to go in with a super light shade. So this is almost like a cream white. And again, I'm using a 253 brush and I'm pressing that onto the lid. Like holy moly, right? I love this because one, this brand is vegan. Two, it's so pigmented, but it's not a flat white. I love that it's got a little bit of like a yellowness to it. To me, it's a little bit more interesting than going in with like a straight white powder. And this shape, this is why I love this brush, but it's shaped like an arrowhead. So it fits perfectly into the corners. Packing that on the lid. And we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of that Menage powder that I used under my eyes, if you watched my other video, but it's a matte setting powder. And I'm just gonna press that into the brow bone. I don't wanna use a white like we've got on the lid because that's just too much for up there. but I do want to kind of accentuate that brow bone and pull that forward so it adds to this look. I'm going to pop off just to do the other side for the sake of speed, and then we'll go in and do that liquid liner. So we are going to get into a little bit of liner here, and what's great is that now we have that kind of blown out, smoked out shadow shape. It's going to act as a little bit of like a roadmap for us for going forward. So I'm going to use Makeup Forever waterproof liner, and I'm using, I did another video where I showed how to do a cool winged liner for hooded eyes, and I'm using that same makeup brush. It's an art brush. I have a ton of these. Love these. So my biggest tip for anybody is if you're doing liner on yourself, look down into a mirror. You will see the shape, especially when you have hooded eyes. You don't want anything to be going up on your lid or touching another part of your eye before it's dry. So the best thing to do is just look down. I start from the middle out as well, because not every time do I necessarily put liner all the way to the inner corner, because anything dark will pull my eye down, and when you already don't have a lot of lid space, you want to show as much of it as you can. So going right at the base of the lash line first. I have to play with my wings a lot because of my hooded eyes, so I'm constantly moving around and making sure that where that liner is resting, I'm happy with. We're gonna kind of smoke and blend this one out today. I don't want it to be like a perfect line. We're gonna blend this out with shadow, which will be a little bit more pleasing on my eye shape also. So let's go ahead and do, I think I'm gonna keep it right to here. I don't think I'm gonna bring it much farther than that. When we go to do lashes, I don't really tend to put lashes much past that point of my eye anyways. We're going for more of like an elongated shape today. So let's go ahead and do that other side. To make sure we're happy with the shapes we're creating and that they're gonna feel nice and even. So this one's a little bit lifted on this side, so we gotta fix that. You can really elongate the eye that way. There we go. And we're gonna take a pencil brush. I'm gonna use my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. We're gonna go in with the darkest brown shade in here. First, it's all about layering when we're doing this, right? We're gonna go back over that liner. And almost start to diffuse that line. The reason why I do the brown first is because black is the very last shade that we're going to be using. And I don't want to do too much too fast. So we're going to keep the bottom nice and clean. Now we'll start to go in with that black. And it just helps to fuse and blend everything together. Now I'm going back in with that 253 brush. I love it. I love it. You can still see a little bit of the structure to the shape of that shadow, that winged liner, but it just kind of like, it softens it out a little bit. Love. And lastly, we're gonna pop on some lashes. We're gonna go in and curl the lashes. A little curl into it so that they marry nicely into the false lash. I'm gonna use Maybelline the Colossal mascara. It's a good black. It's a good base for throwing a false lash on top. Definitely not the most attractive thing to do. So when doing mascara, or if I'm doing something specific like this, if you notice, I'm focusing my strokes outward because that's the direction that we're gonna have these lashes also going. Brushing in that direction. Today we're gonna use, I think these are just Kiss lashes. Cheap, easy. I try not to do crazy expensive ones because when I'm going in, I'm usually end up chopping into them because my eyes are so small. So when I'm doing a look like this, I go in for like a cheaper lash. These are the ones called Little Black Dress. Basically, we're gonna be cutting the front portion and using that on the outer part of my lash. Yeah, perfect. I personally apply my lashes, this is on myself and with clients, with tweezers. And I always press the middle of the lash in first. Make sure it's set, and then press the outer and inner corner. And you'll know if you've got it in the right spot because when you look, it will just complement the liner and the shape that we've got going on. Let's go ahead and do that other side. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of mascara now that I've got those lashes on there. Just underneath, really at the base there, I really wanna just kind of like blend these together. I also kind of wanna make them look a little bit more natural. So I would say this is a pretty good example of like a classic kind of smoked out cat eye, but I hope that I broke down kind of the structure and shape of the eye and strategically placing, you know, the different colors in certain areas so that you kind of are sculpting and contouring your eye, right? Just like you would your face. So I focused the deeper shades kind of in that outer part, smoking that out and into the crease. So I'm pulling that back and then nice light and bright shade on the lids to pull that forward. So we're almost creating and making that shape feel even more three-dimensional than it already is. Super long, elongated eye look for me. Of course, just because I love red lip. Let's pop a red lip on it, right? With this is such an eye look. I would normally probably do something nude or soft, but I kind of love the idea of throwing some color on there because we kept everything else super kind of in the brown nude color family. So I'm gonna go throw a red on. This is my absolute favorite. I wear this every single day. This is my YSL lip stain, and it's almost like more of a, how do I say? It's more of like a orangey red than a blue red. And I don't even do a lip liner when I do this. So I just go ahead and apply this one. Start on the bottom. I'm not gonna talk through this because I'm gonna sound like a crazy person. I love it because it's so pigmented. I feel like I don't have to put a lip liner underneath. It's my absolute favorite red. It does dry and set down, but it almost keeps more of that sheeny finish to it, so it's not totally matte. This is it, you guys. This is the full face. It feels a little bit more updated. So it's classic, but it's modern in the same way because we've got that fuller, fluffier looking brow, which is more of a thing going on right now. And then also kind of giving it a little bit of a twist by smoking out that wing liner and having that blown out, diffused shadow layered underneath as well. So it's not just that simple Marilyn Monroe type look, right? So it is, but there's a little bit more to it. And then adding in this kind of really sheeny, glassy, textured skin. It really elongates that eye. So I love that. and everything just looks better with red lip, I'd like to say. As always, you guys, please like, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you with my next video.